Welcome to a series called The End of Times, where we're going through the book of Revelation verse by verse to see what it is we can expect to happen in the end times. And as we've gone through this book, we've gone over it for a few years, almost 200 episodes. And we've hit this in so much detail, and we've hit that place where heaven and earth had been decreated, and we see the new heaven, the new Jerusalem, this place that Jesus says he goes and prepares for us. And what John sees in that moment is a great description of what this place looks like. And we can get a better understanding of our eternal home based off of that description. So it's important we don't blast through it, that we look at every piece. And we've spent the last 11 now. This will be the 12th episode, looking at the 12 foundations. We spent 12 episodes on 2 verses. But it's important that we understand what each one of these looks like and what they represent. Now, what I've learned is that gemstones in the Bible is very confusing, but they all have deep meaning. And oftentimes the interpreter, if they don't know what it is, they'll just say ruby or sapphire, and oftentimes the word ruby is the word ruby, and oftentimes the word sapphire is, and there's other gemstones too. But you got to look at the actual word and interpret it, and we only use the Bible as a cross-reference. So we're just going to pick it up there, Revelation 21:19. And the foundations, the wall, the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. Now, this 12th foundation is a very confusing one. It's a tough one to find because you're not going to see this many places in the Bible. The 12th amethyst, or amethystos, the only places you're going to find it is it's the third stone in the third row of the breastplate of the high priest from Exodus. However, one place you will see it, because amethyst is a quartz. It's a purple quartz. And so if you don't, it's obviously got to have meaning. And so if you search out purple quartz, where you're going to see that is a very significant place. And that is in Job 28:19. Now, we came here before because there's a lot of mention of other gemstones, but here we're going to look at the quartz. So what Job is talking about is it's really this discourse on wisdom, the wisdom of God. This was the first, Job's the oldest book in the Bible and probably the oldest complete text on the planet. And, obviously Job here says that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, and that's in Proverbs as well. So as he's talking about wisdom here, he says this: neither gold nor crystal can equal it, nor can it be exchanged for jewelry or fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or quartz, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. Now, that quartz is really going to be, it's a purplish quartz is what that word is interpreted as. And so we can cross-reference it here because we're obviously speaking 2 totally different languages as well. But I believe that the base of that foundation, the bottom, the 12th foundation, is the fear of the Lord. It's the wisdom that came from the fear of the Lord that all of us, not some of us, all of us who will walk into that place will have that in common. It is the one thing that we will all have in common, period. We will all have at one point in our life feared the Lord and made him Lord of our life and followed him even to our death, if necessary. Those of us who picked up our cross and followed him, those of us who were about his business, not that we knew him because the devil and his angels knew him, and not that we believed in him because the devil and his angels believed in him, but because we called him Lord. Because we feared him to the point where we said, we submit to you, you are our Lord. Show us what it is you want us to do. And then we were filled with the Spirit. Jesus himself knows the Spirit intimately. So when you show up and he says, I don't know you, it's because you have no Spirit within. If you have the Spirit within, he's like, I know exactly who you are. This is the piece that is the reason you're even there in the first place. That's why I think it is so incredibly important that it is the 12th. The foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with all kinds of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, and the 12th amethyst. 12 episodes to get through 2 verses. Thanks for digging with me. We're going to talk about the pearly gates next time. I remember a good friend of mine was dying, and I asked him what he was most looking forward to when he goes to heaven, and he said, you know, I really want to see those giant pearly gates. It's not the gates themselves. I really like to see what a giant pearl looks like. And I thought that was pretty awesome. So we'll talk about that next. Thanks for sticking with us. I know it's hard to dig through 12 episodes of Gemstones, but it is incredibly important. It's your eternal home. You might as well understand it. Any thoughts or insight on it, definitely put in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.